Hey everyone, welcome to Health Psych with Miss M. In the previous video, we looked at a lot of sleep tips, and now we're going to look at a couple others. Another topic you've probably heard a lot of debate around is snoozing the alarm. So if we snooze the alarm, we might risk falling back asleep, thus making it harder to wake up every time the alarm goes off again. There's some advice to keep the alarm on the other side of the room, but I think I'd be pretty pissed when I'm already in a state of vulnerability first thing in the morning. It might just be a practice to snooze the alarm reflexively for say 5 minutes, but use that time to start waking up, such that when the alarm goes off again, you are ready to get out of bed. If you do have trouble falling or staying asleep, you can try some mind-body practices like deep breathing with your hands over your diaphragm, which also cues the parasympathetic nervous system. You can wiggle your toes or tap the sides of your legs, just anything to get out of your mind and into your body, because the mind is probably worrying about why you're not falling asleep. Some advice does recommend getting out of bed and doing something relaxing, like reading, but it's important to not get too much light in your eyes, especially in the summer when the sun rises early and the birds start chirping. It's really important to try not to peek at the time, because this can increase that worry and competitiveness about how much time we have left to sleep. Some other practical tips include limiting beverages and food closer to bedtime. So if we eat heavy meals, indigestion can keep us up. That's why walking is a good idea after dinner. If we don't eat enough, hunger can also wake us up. So it can be helpful to have some sleep-inducing snacks like milk or cherries or tart cherry juice because they have melatonin. Personally, I struggle with anything with cherry flavor because of all the Robitussin I took as a kid. Even though alcohol is technically a depressant, it can actually disturb the stages of sleep, such that we might be in sort of a light stage of sleep throughout the night and thus not feel very refreshed. Regarding caffeine consumption, it takes about 5 to 6 hours to rid our bodies of half of the amount of caffeine that we've consumed. So in other words, it's better to limit coffee, tea, even chocolate by the afternoon, so like 4 p.m. if you go to bed around 10 p.m. If you think that caffeine could be affecting your sleep, and as most humans, you need a caffeine boost during that midday slump, you could try maybe tea instead of coffee or green tea instead of black tea. And just regarding water, any high beverage consumption is going to make us probably feel awake to go to the bathroom many times throughout the night. And I've personally had some pretty scary dreams anytime I need to go to the bathroom just so I can be awake to do so. It's also helpful to maintain a cool temperature and low noise in the bedroom to the extent possible. We don't want to be so cold that we're sweating under the covers in a couple hours, but it's actually important for our circadian rhythms to be cooler than our average daytime temperature overnight, because we just can't fall or stay asleep if we're too hot. And white noise is a common way to help mask environmental sounds, whether it's through a machine or fan or even some white noise type of earbuds. If possible, please don't use your phone in the bed. It has a lot of blue light and it can be very overstimulating. So a lot of us use our phones as alarms. So ideally, we could just set the alarm and that would be the only notification that comes through when necessary. Physical activity in the evening can also be pretty helpful to get us tired and lull us into sleepiness, but it's recommended to wrap up exercise by maybe 2 hours before bedtime, just so that we don't feel too hot and hyper. Ultimately, sleep is a resilience resource. It can help us face stressors when we feel nice and calm and refreshed, when our head is in a good place, because we know that without sleep, we're going to be groggy, have issues with our concentration, make mistakes, even with driving and things like that. So sleep can help us tackle some of those issues that are present with chronic stress, especially health issues. So that's why sleep is pretty important. And if the tips presented here don't work for you, please talk to your doctor to see if something a little more serious is going on or if medications or other treatments could be helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any other tips that you might use. So stay tuned for the next video.